again, those of you that just came in, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. All that music that you hear playing is all the music you guys chose to put on your playlist. I have my Apple Music going on right here, and I have your playlist. So any song you would like to add. So if you're like, I don't like this music, it's okay. You don't have to like every music. It's just nice background music. But if you want to hear something you like, just let me know in the chat, and I can add it to our playlist just to have nice background music as we do our work. Because some people ask me, Mr. It helps me. And then those of you that it's distracting, like, oh, Mr. Music doesn't help me, then you can just, mute it or put the volume down so it works for everybody. Okay. All right. So let me go over this. So if you notice, the warm-up was just number 3 in our notes, right? If we did our notes. Now, Mr., we didn't finish number 2. Okay, we will finish number 2. Actually, we finished it in my 4th period, but we didn't finish it here. So we will finish number 2. Let's look at number 3. So again, we have a rhombus. What the heck's a rhombus? It's a type of quadrilateral, and we will be talking about quadrilaterals a little later, so don't worry about it if you don't know exactly what a rhombus is. But if you plot these points, J, K, L, M, rhombus, J, K, L, M, then you'll kind of see like, oh, okay, that must be what a rhombus is. So let's plot those points. So J, K, L, M, this is the pre-image, the original image, right? Because it has regular old letters, J, K, L, M. So -4. So go backwards 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's right there. There's J. And then K is 0, 8. So 0, 8 means 0 in the X means I don't go left or right. Means I go 0 left and right, and then I go 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's K. And then L is -1, 4. So I go backwards 1. And then up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's L. And then M is -5, 3. So M would be go backwards 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it's -5. And then Y is up 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's M. And so we connect those dots. If you look here, that's a rhombus. It kind of looks like a parallelogram because it is. And so, okay, now, mister, what do I do? Well, now we look at the, what's it called? Let's go back if you forgot what it's called. Coordinate notation. Look at the coordinate notation to tell you how to map or how to move to the new image, right? Coordinate notation tells you the original point. That's what this means. XY just means original point. This arrow mean moves. And then this tells you how the X coordinate moves, right? Left to right. And this tells you how the Y coordinate moves, up and down. Very simple. So we go back over here. Mister, you're moving it too much. Yes. Okay. So let me remind you, some of you have a lot of trouble listening and writing at the same time. So you should, if you have trouble doing both at the same time, you should just watch. You should just watch me do it, listen to what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying, and then, of course, I'm going to give you a minute or two to copy it down after I'm done talking. Okay, so those of you are like, Mister, you're going too fast, and I don't have enough time to copy this. Don't need it. You can just watch, let it soak in, and then I give you a minute or two to copy anyway, okay? So those of you worrying that I'm moving too much, and I'm sorry, and if I am moving too much, you can tell me, and I will stop moving so much. But here we go. Here is our coordinate notation, and it's telling us every point, every original point is going to move by adding 2 to the X. So adding 2 to the X means, what does that mean? It means I'm going to go forward 2. I'm going to go forward, and forward means right to the right, 2 units. And this is telling me up and down, the Y coordinate is going to go down 2 units. So forward 2, down 2. So I'm going to do that to every point. So K is going to go forward 2 and then down 2. And then I'm going to have a new K. Right? And so what do we call the new K? We call it K prime. Let's move J. And it's nice to use different colors because if you use the same color, it might it might blend into each other. So try using different colors. So let's move J. J is going to move 2 units forward or 2 units to the right and then 2 units down. So right here. So that's my new J. So I'm going to call that J prime. J prime. Okay, let's move L. L is going to go 2 units forward, 2 units down. And there's my new L. So my new L is right there. And I'll call that L prime. And then my new M. 2 units forward, 2 units down. And there's my new M. Call it M prime. Connect those dots, and you should see an exact replica because this is a rigid motion. That means the two should be congruent. The two should be exactly the same. And if you look there, they are. There you go. Now, are we finished? Are we finished? Looking at your warm-ups, let's see. Some of you didn't do the last part. And I'm guilty of this too. Like I say, we all make mistakes. When I did this in fourth period yesterday, I forgot to do the bottom part. What does the bottom part say? J prime, K prime, L prime, N prime. They want to know the coordinates of each one. Okay. So the coordinates of J prime, if you look at J prime, it's you have to go from the origin to J prime, you have to go backwards 2. So X is -2. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So -2, 5. -2, 5. So you're just writing the coordinates of the point. Okay. K, excuse me, K would be forward 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So K prime is 2, 6. Mister, you're moving it too much. I will keep it still in a second to give you a chance to copy. I will do that. Don't worry. M prime, I go backwards 1, 2, 3. Then I go up 1. So -3, 1 is M prime. And L prime is, I go forward 1 and up 2. So 1, 2. Oops. Come on. There we go. 1, 2. And there you go. Okay, so I'll give you a second to copy that. Give you a second to copy that. Well, I opened the sliding door a little bit because it's a little warm in here. Yeah, it's really cold outside with the heaters on full blast. And so now it's really hot in here. And then I have this on. Then I have a hat on. I didn't feel like combing my hair this morning, so I threw a hat on. Some of you, I don't even know if you comb your hair. It's the warm-up. The warm-up is making it too hot. Is this notes? Okay. Yes. Yes, it is. Remember, these are the warm-ups. Warm-ups, begin your notes. Warm-ups, begin the notes, guys. Warm-ups always begin your notes. And this warm-up, excuse me, happened to be number 3 on your notes, right? This warm-up happened to be example number 3 in your notes. Oh, okay. I thought you were being funny when I said it's warm in here. I thought you were being funny when you said it's the warm-up, but you were answering the previous text, the previous chat message. Yeah, this is the warm-up, but warm-up is notes. Remember, notes are for who? Are they for me? Right? I know a lot of you think of notes as something that you have to do because the teacher wants you to do them. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes the teacher's like, you do it because I told you. But notes are for you. Notes are for you, not for me. They're never for the teacher. Well, okay, they're hardly ever for the teacher. Notes are for future you. Notes, again, like I said, it's a letter to yourself in the future. Dear future me, please don't forget this. Love me, right? It's just stuff you're writing down so you can look at later and go, oh, okay, that's how you do it, because I'm going to tell you something. You're going to forget this. You're going to forget how to do this in a couple weeks. You may, but most likely you are. In a couple weeks, someone's going to say, all right, translate this, or show you a coordinate notation. And you're going to be like, wait, what was that again? And you're going to have to go back to your notes and remind yourself. Everyone does. Scientists do this, right? Scientists are studying stuff. Of course, right now, a lot of scientists are studying coronavirus stuff and all these variants now. Got all these different variants of these mutations of the coronavirus. So they're out there trying to study these things and seeing if the vaccine works and on how different they are and all that stuff. So guess what they have to do? They didn't memorize everything about the original coronavirus. They got to go back to their notes. They got to go back to their previous research. So that's what notes are. When we do the warm-up, you should copy the warm-up and do it. That's the beginning of your notes. Every example we do, you should do it in your notes. Everything I say that you go, wait a second, I didn't know that, you should write it down. And this is for you to come back and go, oh, that's how you do this. Oh, okay. Oh, I see this example. This is like the one I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm glad I copied this because this looks a lot very similar to what I'm doing right now. Okay, awesome. That's what notes are for. So, yeah, I know some of you are still, I mean, look, you guys are so young. I don't know if you realize how young you guys are. And so you're still new to this earth, right? Your brain is still forming. So you really haven't been taught directly a lot of things. And like notes, you just feel it's something your teacher wants. But it's really something that's supposed to help you, future you. All right, so let's go back to number 2. We didn't finish number 2 yesterday. So I plotted the original triangle CDE. And then can someone in the chat tell me what this coordinate notation is telling us? Ooh, even though it says it right there. What is that coordinate notation telling us? To go left 3 and up 8. Exactly. X minus 3 means go backwards 3, right? We go backwards 3. And if we're going to go back, actually, backwards is that way, right? I'm looking at my camera. Backwards is to the left, right? My right. So, because I forget I'm kind of mirrored. And then plus 8 means you go 8 units up on the Y. Exactly. So let's do that. Oh, wait, that's not the original. I erased the wrong one. All right. My fault. These are all the primes. Sorry about that. So let's plot the original. 2, -1. So 2, -1. That's C. D is 7, -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's D. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you. Someone in the chat told me, hey, Mr. Isn't that the image? Isn't that the primes? Yes, it is. And then 4, -6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's the original triangle. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this a lot nicer. No, not the eraser. Okay. And so what do we do to each? We go, so let's start with C. Let's go in alphabetical order. If you don't know which one to move first, because if you just move the endpoints, you're moving the whole thing, right? It's kind of like moving furniture, right? If I had to move this piece of furniture, that's what translating is. It's like moving your room around. Look at your room, right? I love to move rooms around. I get tired of how the rooms are, and so I need to move it. So how would you move this piece of furniture? If it was heavy, you would want someone here, here, and here. You want someone to grab a corner. That's usually how you move stuff. And that's exactly how we move stuff in geometry, just like we would move furniture. Now, we could get someone here and here, or we can get a whole bunch of people here and a whole bunch of people if it's really heavy. But if it's, not super heavy, but kind of heavy too heavy for one person, the smart way to do this is to get a person here, here, and here. Just grab each corner. Just grab a corner, lift it, and let's go. Let's move it. That's exactly what you're doing. So that's why we're just moving the corners. Some people are like, well, Mister, what about all these points? And what about all these points? Well, they move along with it. If you just do the corners, connecting them will still be the same. Okay, good question. So we're just moving the corners. So we're just moving the vertices, right? Each edge is a vertex. We call those vertices. That's plural. So if I move the C 3 units back and 8 units up, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. Let's make sure 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. And that's C prime. Now let's move E. 1, 2, 3 backwards, and then 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there, and that's E prime. And now let's move D. D goes backwards 1, 2, 3, and then goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there you go. And there's D prime. Connect the dots. And there you go. There you go. It's that easy. And now, can we give the coordinates of C prime? Where's C prime? So let's look. It's -1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So -1, 7. Mister, you're moving it too much again. I'll stop in a minute and give you a chance to copy. Let's look at D prime. D prime is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I went too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 units on the X, 4 units on the Y. That's 4, 4. So D prime is 4, 4. And E prime is 1 unit on the X, 2 units on the Y. So it's 1, 2. 1, 2. So there you go. Give you a minute to copy that. And if you have any questions, if I did anything that's confusing, please let me know in the chat. So somebody asked me a question in the chat, so I'll answer that question as soon as I give you another 30 seconds to copy this. All right, 10 more seconds. Or do you need more than 10 seconds? Let me know in the chat. Hey, mister, I need more than 10 seconds to copy this. I'm still copying. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, again, whenever I give you, excuse me, whenever I give you a warm-up, when we're done going over it, you can exit it. When you're finished with it, you can exit the warm-up. Yes. Yes. If I ever want you to go back, I'll let you go. So yeah, whenever you finish your warm-up, guys, you can, or when we finish going over it, then you can always exit out of Desmos. Yes. Because right now we're into notes. We finished the warm-up, we're into our notes now. Which the warm-up was kind of notes, was kind of our notes anyway, because again, warm-ups are always our notes, but it was number 3, right? It was number 3. So somebody asked me, excuse me, somebody asked me in the chat, hey, mister. And I said, yes, student. And they said, okay, here's C, right? You see that? You see that? Get it? You see that? No? Nobody? Okay. Yes, I know. Okay. So you see this? So they're saying, mister, you know how this says I minus 3 from X and I add 8 to get my new point? Can I just do that? Can I say 2 minus 3 and then I get -1 and then -1 plus 8. So I subtract 3 from the X and I add 8 to the Y and -1 plus 8 is 7 to get my C prime? And the answer is yes, because look at what C prime is. Negative 1, 7. Negative 1, 7. Shocking. But it's not so shocking because you're doing the same thing, right? This is where you are and you're going backwards 3. It's the same thing as here you are and you're going backwards 3. You're going to negative 1. That's negative 1. And then you're at negative 1 here on the y and you go up 8. Guess where you are? Negative 1, and then you go up 8. You're at 7. So it's the same thing. So you can just do it using the numbers. You can just subtract 3 and add 8. You can just go here and say, okay, 7 minus 3, that's 4. Negative 4 plus 8, that's 4. There you go. D prime is 4, 4. So that's another way you can do it. You can just add and subtract from the x and y. You don't always have to have a picture. Okay? So that's a great question. All right. Are we good with drawing an image? Looking at the coordinate notation to draw the, looking at the pre-image and then looking at the coordinate notation to draw the image, the original picture, and then draw the new picture. Everyone good at that? Because we're going to do the opposite now. Okay, so scroll all the way down in your notes. Go to example number 7. And so now we're going to identify and write our own rules. We're going to write, what is a notation? Well, we've been talking about, right? Coordinate notation, right? I just talked about this. We've been doing this. This is the X, Y, then the arrow, and then it tells us how each is moving. This is the coordinate notation. This is telling us how to move stuff. Okay, yeah, you always want to make sure to make sure you don't get this confused. Instead of writing out all this, remember, instead of writing out all big old sentence, you write it in coordinate notation. Oh, that's right. I didn't do that. The homework was not due. Yes, remember I told you several times at the end of class yesterday, the homework is not due because we did not finish the notes. So no, the homework was not due yesterday, but I know I didn't change the due date. So the homework will be due tonight. Homework is due tonight, and I will change the due date. That's my fault. I told you I was going to change it, and then I didn't. So I will change the due date. But yeah, it is due tonight. Okay? Don't stress. Don't stress. All right, so let's go down here. And so now we have 2 images. Which one's the original? Which one is the new one? What's the pre-image and what's the image? Okay, I'll paint one green. And I'll paint one pink. And you tell me, which one is the original picture? Green. Yes, green is the original. How do you know that? Because there's no primes right here. There's no primes right there. It's just regular old letters. And over here is D prime, E prime, F prime. So how did I move? So all you got to do is see how I moved. So let's go down here. And this is always the beginning. This is always how we start. Right? We put X, Y, which just represents the original. We put an arrow. And then we put a parentheses. And we're going to do something to X. And we're going to do something to Y. So let's figure out what we do to X. So what do we do to X? So let's actually just choose one point. You don't have to choose all the points. Just choose one point. D to D prime. So how do I do that? So I'm going to move. So I'm going to move how many units to get to the same spot right here? How many units? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to go 7 to get to the same spot. So 7 units forward. So if I go 7 units forward, that means I just add 7. Okay, so I'm just adding 7. And then now let's look at the Y. Now let's look at how we change the Y. So we go 7 units forward again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then how many up? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 4 up. So that means I add 4 on the Y. And there you go. There is my, what's it called? If you forgot, let's go back in your notes. What's it called? It's called my coordinate notation. Coordinate notation tells us how we're moving from one figure to the other. Now we have our coordinate notation. Now let's verify this. Let's make sure we did it correctly, because we said add 7 to x and add 4 to y. So let's try it with e. So let's see if it maps. See if I'm the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forward, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Ding, 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 ding. Woohoo! We did it. We did it. Right? Yeah, good job. All right, so let's try it with F. Forward 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it. We're awesome. We did it. There you go. All right, any questions on that? Because you're going to try one right now. You're going to try one yourself right now. But are there any questions on that? So you just look at the pre-image, old, the original one, and then the image, the new one, and then you just see how you moved. And just pick one point. Pick one point. I went forward 7. Like how if I'm walking on streets and I can't go like this. If I can only walk on the streets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got to go 7 blocks this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go 4 blocks this way to get to that. Okay. So I'll give you a second to copy this. Because again, some of you like, Mister, I can't write and watch at the same time. And that's fine. So just watch first, and then I give you time to copy. Any questions while we're letting the people copy who are still copying? And again, if you do miss something, you can always go to the videos, right? How do we do that? Go to our Schoology course. Go to, this is week 3. Go to week 3 folder, and you'll see the link to the video of the lecture. Again, now it's on YouTube, so I upload it right after class. And so like if you are a person who wants to see it right away, it may not be ready because it has to render and process and all that. So, but it will be there on the same day because I upload it right after class is over. But sometimes it does take about an hour or two to process, right? You may see it and then it may be the low quality one. You may have to wait a little while to get the HD version. All right, time is up. So let me go to the next one. Can you tell me how this moved? Give me the coordinate notation. So I'll start you off, right? X, Y, arrow. What goes in the parentheses? How is this moving? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay. If you're having any trouble, please let me know, okay? Okay. You pick a point. We picked M. So we pick a point. So that means, how do I get from original M to new M? And the way I do it is, let's first see left or right. How do I go left or right? Well, I have to go backwards, right? Well, how many do I have to go backwards? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bye. So those of you leaving, that's fine. But somebody asked me to re-explain it. I go backwards 4. And then how do I go on the Y? How do I get to the M? I have to go up 1, 2. So I go backwards 4, up 2. So left and right is your X. Up and down is your Y. So backwards 4 means I subtract 4 on my X. Up 2 means I add 2 on my Y. That's what we do. And you have to write it in this notation. Okay. Somebody had sent it to me like this, which is technically correct. I understood what they meant, but don't write it like that because that just means a point. Write it like this, please. Okay, in coordinate notation. All right, take care, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure you do that homework tonight. Homework is due tonight, okay? And if you need help, let me know in Schoology. Take care.